welcome into the Sporty Show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to be here. I am Sara Pararia, and we are just 4 days out from the Euros. Shout out to Steven Gerrard, wearing infamously the famous number 4. I'm joined alongside my handsome co-host, Klinton Cod.
They're handsome. Say it again, say it again, say handsome again.
Handsome.
Say it one more time.
Handsome.
Oh, God. Oh, my. See, honestly, people don't understand how much it feels good for people to see a guy looking as clean as me and say, handsome. Come on, say it one more time.
Handsome!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Klinton Cod, and welcome to the Sporty Show. Alex, over to you.
Well, good to be here, guys.
The man from Shaftesbury himself, I will say.
I'm excited to, talk about all things football. Clinton, you brought the weather from England, man. What's going on?
Don't say that, fam. Don't piss me off, fam.
It's been a lovely summer, and now it's raining.
Alex is actually the tallest man in Madrid as we speak. Alex, you want to stand up for them to see how? So,
are you sure you want me?
No, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Like if he stands up, I would forget everything I'm here to say. So no, just take your chill pill. Just sit the hell down.
Well, we also have to introduce Gary, coming to us from Ghana. Gary, thank you so much for joining us.
And you're looking good. Alex number 1 or Alex number 2. I'm not sure which.
Thank you. Guys, we are 4 days away from the Euros, and we are going to be covering it. Every day there's a match. We will be here. Make sure you guys follow us on all of our socials, Twitter, Insta, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, all of it. We will be here with you guys. So join us on this journey because I cannot wait. We will get into the Euros shortly, but let's start with Clinton. You've been in Madrid for 2 weeks, but you've had a very busy 2 weeks.
I mean, I've not really had a busy 2 weeks. I had a busy day.
Okay.
2 weeks. All right? And this was the day of the Champions League final. That day was one of the most happiest days of my life. You don't understand how crazy it was in the Bernabeu Stadium. So on that day of the Champions League final, obviously the players were in Wembley in London. They were playing the game there. And Madrid, they had organized a watch party for all the fans. So basically every single fan went to the stadium to watch their team play in Wembley, but we were watching it on this really massive cubic screen. So it was like every part of the screen, the cube was like this really massive screen, right? And the stadium was packed. Like you would feel like Vinicius was there. You would think Ronaldo actually came to play for Madrid for one more last time from Saudi. Like it was crazy. And we did a mini documentary about everything that happened on that day, and we should watch it. Let's enjoy it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what's up? It's your boy Klinton Cod. So right now we are at the middle of Madrid City, getting ready for the one match everyone is looking forward to. It's the Champions League final between Real Madrid FC and Borussia Dortmund. The question is, who is going home with the Champions League title? As you can see, everyone is buzzing, everyone is getting drunk. They are getting ready to celebrate in advance. But the question is, are they going to be disappointed? I do not know. We are going to be doing a watch party at the Bernabeu Stadium with all the Madrid fans. And if it's going to end up being something to be happy about, then the drinking is not going to be a waste. But if it doesn't go our way, I do not know. But anyways, follow me and let's go to the Bernabeu Stadium and let's go enjoy ourselves. All right, let's go. Dead packed.
What do you think is going to happen today?
I think Real Madrid is going to win today because we're not the best team. I think it's going to be a hard match, penalties.
What a day!
about the metro. Damn, man. Yo, I've been sweating. No, right now I feel like I need a shower, to be honest. Right, so we're actually making our way to the stadium now. As you can see, the energy is crazy. Like, everyone is like, ole, 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 ole. Well, I don't know what they're saying, but I believe it's proper high spirit. But let's go check them out. Let's see what's going on right there. Let's go. Can you sing the team song for Real Madrid?
Real Madrid te quiero, te voy a animar.
Te voy a querer si fuiste campeón de Europa una y otra vez. Así gana Madrid. Así gana Madrid. Ahora campeón, el día que yo muera, quiero ver mi campo. Historia de historia por hacer.
As you can see, the energy is dead crazy. It's crazy. Real Madrid have only one option. It's to win the game. They cannot disappoint. All these people, they can't disappoint them. They can't. Like Jude Bellingham, Vinicius, you cannot disappoint all of these people.
What do? Do you dribble the keeper or do you tip it? You tip it.
All right, guys, the second half is just about to start right now. Madrid needs to give us a goal. Vinicius, Bellingham, Rodrigo, we need the goal ASAP. Let's go see what the guys are about to do on the pitch. Come on, man. Yo! You gotta play for me, Tony Kroos! Alright guys, that brings us to the end of the game. Anyways, you can see everyone is happy. There's nothing I can do about that. We're going to head back to the studio. It's Madrid with the Champions League title.
An absolute party at the Santiago Bernabeu, was it not?
Honestly, y'all don't understand what it felt like being there. Like, it felt like we were all high without smoking. Like, or will I even say it felt like we were under the Holy Ghost? Like, have you ever been under the Holy Ghost before? You know when you start speaking in tongues, like the whole Libra, Hondo, Skibra, Hande, Kosha. Like, forget, sorry. For a minute, I forgot we were in the studio. You guys will start giving your life to Christ in a minute. No, but that day, the energy was, it was terrific. It was crazy. It was like, I didn't, like I said, the players were on the pitch, right? They were in Wembley. So for them to have that sort of energy, real life, like, there and there, I was like, damn. Man. Now, the best thing Madrid did was to win the game. Now, if they hadn't won the game, whoo. I mean, it would have been something nice to see how quiet it would have been, right? I mean, that's it. This is why during the game I wanted the whole, score, that kind of where you have everyone screaming and everyone is going silent, scream. I wanted that kind of energy. But then again, Madrid had the the 2 goals, and there was no room for us to see that calmness. Now, all the credit will go to that boy called Adeyemi. Anyways, I don't want to go into Adeyemi right now because that's somebody that pissed me off on that day. But yeah, it was dead crazy.
It was vibey, yes. And there were a few of those players that are now looking to potentially win a Ballon d'Or in Bellingham and Vinicius Jr., of course. Gary, I'm going to take this to you first. Who are you leaning towards as of right now ahead of the Copa America and the Euros between Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr. for the winner of the next Ballon d'Or?
That's the Carlo Ancelotti eye, right? And the answer is Vinicius, I think. Immediately after the game, Don Carlo was asked the same question, and he basically said Vinicius because he felt, Bellingham, yes, had done enough. Vinicius had the magic touch this year, and I agree with him. He's done more than enough to the year from a full season point of view. Bellingham had a great first couple months when he came. He absolutely hits the ground running. But because of the season, I think that Vinicius's influence more pronounced, on and off the pitch. That is not even on his influence in terms of what he did, his impact even off the pitch. If that counts this year, they always change it, but even on the pitch, I think he beats Bellingham his impact as well. And just the aura around him here has to be said. And it stands to reason that if you take Brazil and England, I think Vinicius is more of a central figure for Brazil now, the Copa America, than Bellingham is for England going into the Euro.
Alex, I'm going to take the same question to you now. Are you leaning towards a certain Englishman?
I would love to. And, have had the pleasure of meeting Jude and know how, he's got a head on his shoulders, as we say. He's so mature. He's only 20, soon to be 21, but if you told me he was 30, I would have believed you. He's fantastic. He's hit the ground running this season. He was 5 goals off being the Pichichi, the top scorer in La Liga this season with 19 goals. For a midfielder to do that is impressive. For a young lad at 20 to do that in his first season is even more impressive. So, I would love to lean towards him, but I think with Vinny, he's the youngest player to score in 2 Champions League finals, surpassing your favourite Messi. Yes.
No. Now, there is no Messi slander in this studio. Anybody that says anything bad about Messi, you walk out. I'm usually walking you out.
I'm sure you didn't just compare Vinicius Jr. to Messi.
No,
I'm sure you didn't.
No.
No, there's no. Not on the first. There's no way. There's no way.
To Vinny that he's in such good conversation with Messi.
No. He's not in any conversation.
I think
don't do it. Don't do it.
You have to have several seats. You have to have several. There's not. No, Vinicius. No. Because what we're not going to do to Vinicius is put that pressure on him. That's what we're not going to do.
No, but I'm saying the level of achievement that he's reaching is, is impressive, and he's a fantastic player. We've talked about it. He offers the goals, the assists. He's pacey on the ball. He's got the tricks. He's a wonderful player, and I've had the pleasure to see him throughout the season, to see him grow into different positions. That he's out on the left is his favourite position, but he can come through the middle. He works really well with Bellingham, and I think he definitely has to be the front runner for that Ballon d'Or conversation.
Please let us know if you think Alex Ashmore has lost his head, or if Vinicius Jr. is getting compared to Messi.
No, you shouldn't. I think this should be the first and the last you would mention any player next to. I mean, the only player whom I'm still managing, right, when people compare him to Messi, is still Cristiano Ronaldo, of which I believe Messi is still
miles.
It's still like
miles.
Let me tell you something I think about Lionel Messi, right? After God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, I don't mean to be blasphemous or anything. Sorry for anybody who might feel offended by what I'm about to say. I feel like the next person in Trinity is Lionel Messi. This is pure fact. This is something I believe in. Lionel Messi, he's human, but he's a God.
He is.
All right? I know they
Is he human, though? I'm still not even sure about that.
No.
Genuinely.
I just didn't want to take you too far, but I personally feel like Lionel Messi is not human. Yeah. Right? Lionel Messi, there's something that we would never understand. I feel like you have to be God to understand who Lionel Messi is. Like, it takes a God to identify a God, okay? So please, when you want to mention players, you know, listen, when people say Cristiano Messi, I get pissed, and then you say Vinicius?
No, I'm not making a direct comparison.
No,
it's more, you know, showing the stats and the impressive stats.
Certainly.
Right, yeah, but just don't do it again.
Well, the party continues in Madrid because Kylian Mbappe is on his way. Let's take a look at what the Madrid fans had to say about a certain Frenchman joining their team.
Signing Mbappe is an overkill because they're already the best team in the world, but it can only bring some new things that are positive for the club.
I feel like it's a little bit mixed reaction, a little bit mixed emotion, because it's something we've been waiting for like at least like 2 or 3 years. Like, it's been on everybody's mind that we know Mbappe is going to come to Real Madrid. We know he's been a fan. We know he's been a Madridista since he was a little kid, and so it's something that we knew was going to happen. And it took so long that now it's finally here. After we just win the league and the Champions League, it's like, you know, what more do we need? But at the same time, it's very exciting because Mbappe is the best player in the world right now.
Him being in the team is just. It's just adding to Real Madrid. I mean, there's so many young stars, there's so many young players. I saw this post that in 7 years, they're all going to be in their prime.
I've heard that the Real Madrid are going to sign Karim Mbappe, and we are all happy that we have a set of player of Mbappe. And I hope that if Mbappe will come to Real Madrid, it will help the team a lot.
I think it's a good move, and it's gonna zero problems for the team or for the players. As you see, Vinicius and so many players talk very good about Kylian Mbappe and his move. So they are waiting for him. They know he's going to be a good one for the team.
I think the fact that Kylian Mbappe is coming is great because he's a smart guy, and he will perfectly fit with the team. So I think he will be a great player for Real Madrid.
You know, it's the guy that said he's my guy. You know,
Yeah.
It's literally the confidence. Like, you would think that he probably helps Mbappe to iron his clothes every morning or something.
It sounds like
Who knows?
it.
Like, but then again, it might be his guy. You never know. Please, if he's your guy, if he's your guy, please, I want to be your guy too.
Guys, there were a bit of mixed emotions, though, here. We saw some. Well, the first gentleman said, in fact, that Mbappe to Madrid is overkill. I'd love to have those problems, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously some quality players that he's going to be playing with, you know, whether he jumps into that squad immediately. I know he's going to be in and around the first team, but obviously he's not, you know, he has to fight for it. You know, we obviously talk about Real Madrid missing maybe a number 9 this season. That's maybe been the one thing that they need to take them to the next level. And he could be that striker. You know, could he play through the middle? Carlo Ancelotti, obviously famous for, you know, letting his players do what they want, you know, obviously within reason. You know, they play within their style. So, you know, I think he could fit really well into this system.
Sorry, really quickly, do you not think he's making it right onto that first team?
No, I think obviously it's a guarantee that he's going to be in and around that squad. I just think, you know, whether he's going to compete with Vinicius. Obviously, Vinicius has been fantastic, and he's going to say, well, this is my position. Mm-hmm. You know, I deserve this spot. I think, you know, they're going to have to make some movements. I think maybe he's going to have to play through the middle. Obviously, if Vinicius gets injured, he'll maybe move out to the left. But no, I think Vinicius will be very hard to, you know, remove from that left wing position because, you know, he's earned it.
Right. I mean, to be honest, the question I was just going to ask you, you've just answered it. I was going to say, Alex, if you were Ancelotti, let's imagine that one way or the other you stumble upon becoming a coach of Real Madrid.
I wouldn't mind.
I'm sure they would look at your height and be like, nah, and this guy is probably going to sit on us if we mess up on the pitch. Right. Now, but Alex, like, if you imagine you were a coach for Real Madrid now, right, and you had all the positions covered, you just had Vinicius and Mbappe. Right, you need to win a game. Like, this game is so important, and these two players, one of them have to come from the left wing. Who are you going for?
I think initially I'm sticking with Vinny. I think, you know, he's earned his right to stay there. He's played brilliantly this season. He's been fantastic. Obviously, we talked about him in that Ballon d'Or conversation. I think Kylian is a fantastic player. He's potentially the best player in the world, but I don't think he should walk into that position. I think he has to earn that right. Maybe he plays a game, and if he impresses, then he can get a few games as a run. But no, I think Vinny has to start on the left, and you put Mbappe through the middle. And I do think that could work as a tandem. If you have Rodrigo out on the right, potentially. Obviously, you've got so many other players to include Bellingham, Arda Güler, Brahim Diaz. So there's going to have to be some squad rotation. But if there's anyone that can do it, it is Carlo Ancelotti.
Well, we will see. Time will tell. But let's now jump into the most exciting topic in the Euros, guys. And let's start off with seeing what the fans in Madrid had to say and who their favorite to win the tournament is.
So we're from Minneapolis, Minnesota in the United States. We're going to be watching the Euros very excitedly. We're very excited for the Euros. I'm going to be rooting for Portugal. But I think, France maybe is the favorite, but for me, Portugal, I'm rooting for Portugal. Yeah.
Talking about Italy, it's my country. I'm Italian. I'm from Bologna. We just qualified for the Champions League. And I think we're going to win back-to-back Euros. I think Italy has a great roster. We have a lot of commitment for the people in Italy. And so I do believe that if we don't win, we'll get to the finals at least.
I wanted Spain to win the Euros.
For me, I'm going to support my country, France. I think we have good players, a good manager. I think we have a big chance to win this Euros. And it's going to be the first of Kylian Mbappe, so I hope it's going to France.
Look, I'm from London, and I'll be supporting England in the Euros, and I definitely think that they're going to go a long way. We've got such a good team. We've got a young team as well. We've got so many stars in the squad: Saka, Foden, Harry Kane, Bellingham coming in. We've got players like Mainoo and stuff. It's such a delight to see, because this sort of England team we haven't seen in such a long time. But I've no doubt in my mind, finals. Yeah, definitely finals. Hopefully we'll win it.
Klinton Cod, I have a question for you. Who do you think is going to win this Euros?
I love it. I love it. From the streets of Madrid, asking us.
Wow. Man said Klinton and Sara.
Like he knows.
Oh, okay, Sara, it's always ladies first.
Ooh,
right,
thank you so
it.
much. I'm going to be a bit boring, guys, but for me, it's France, and it's been France for a while. And I think when you think about the European teams and you're looking at the squads and who has the best squad, maybe the deepest squad, two teams come to mind for me, and that's England and France. Now the difference here, and where I give France, a bit more of the edge, is because they've won before with Didier Deschamps as well. This is a team that knows how to win tournament-style football, and we've seen it time and time again where England, this is where they struggle. Penalty shootouts, quarterfinals, semifinals. There's just something missing, and I think it is Gareth Southgate, because when you look at this squad, you think there's no way this team can lose, but we've seen it. We saw it in the last World Cup. We saw it in the final of the Euros in 2021. This is the difference for me. And Kylian Mbappe, the way this guy turns on and decides to carry a team sometimes, it's magic. So for me, I'm going to go for France.
The
laugh was rude.
You sound like you disagree there, Klinton.
No. The funny thing is, I agree with him. I agree with Sara. I would only say France if my guy Upamecano.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
You see, this guy is somebody I feel like the world really underestimates a lot, right? Upamecano is that defender who I don't know why I always feel like I want to watch him play. He does some of the most crazy passes that you would not expect a defender to make. When he plays, he plays as if there's some level of fear or, there's no confidence in him. But there are some passes that he does. You would think he's Luka Modric and he's doing it from defense. He's doing this crazy. And I feel like sometimes in a team, you need that from you don't expect only midfielders to do this kind of passes. If you have defenders who are able to defend and are able to distribute this kind of passes at the same time, right? That's what I want to see. And that's why if Upamecano is going to start for France, then I'm rooting for France.
Okay,
if not,
there you
I'm
go.
going to England.
Oh la la.
See, listen, I can boil hot on England. Dear Mr. Gary Southgate, I want to give you a warning from the studio, okay? This is the SportyShow, this is SportyTV, right? And God knows the kind of authority I am sitting on. If England, I don't want to hear about penalties and then boom, you didn't get the title. Gary, you have all the players in the world. You have all the players in the world. Like, I can't count the kind of players we have in England. I don't want to hear anything like, oh, well, we took them to the finals. No, there's no finals. We want you to come home with the title. We want you to come home with the title. I'm rooting for England.
Is this you urging Gareth to give you a late call-up, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, no, Gary, sorry, one more message, okay? If you think you don't have the kind of people to get you the title, I am available. I am better than at least 90% of all the strikers in England, including Nicholas Jackson.
No, I refuse. We cannot start with Nicholas Jackson.
Listen, if there's any striker who is alive that I don't understand how much is getting paid to play the way he plays, and I'm not getting paid, it's Nicholas Jackson. Okay? It's Nicholas Jackson. It's Nicholas Jackson.
All right, Alex, before I get to you on your favorite, I have to remind the viewers that SportyTV have the rights to 12 of the Euro matches, even though we will be here every match day. Remember, there are 12 live matches, starting with the group stage game, the opening match, Germany and Scotland, Serbia and England, Spain and Italy, and we're coming out of Madrid. That one's going to be bananas. Netherlands and France, Turkey and Portugal, and Croatia and Italy. Those are the group stage matches that we have live on SportyTV, so remember that. Gary, coming to you, though, who are your favorites for the Euros? Oh, I think we've lost Gary's audio. I can't hear you, Gary. I'm so sorry. No, I can see you. You look wonderful.
He's giving us some kind of sign
language. All right, well, we get that fixed. Let's go to you, Alex, and you give us who your favorite.
I agree with Gary. I think England are going to win.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Let's put words in Gary's mouth. Let's not do that.
No, I think I'm going to go with France as well. I think, look at the players that they have. Antoine Griezmann had a fantastic season with Atletico Madrid. He's now the club's top scorer. Yeah. Kylian Mbappe, obviously, another fantastic season with Paris Saint-Germain. He's coming to Madrid, as we know. I think, England, whether they can get over that hump, a semi-final, a final, a quarter-final in the last 3 major competitions, can they go that one step further? Can they use that pain? I don't think so. The preparation hasn't been the best. We obviously lost to Iceland. 1 win in the last 5 games against Bosnia and Herzegovina is not the best run of form you want to be in going to a major competition. So I'm willing to be proven wrong, but I'm sceptical about England's chances, so I'm going to go with France.
All right, so we all have a reason as to why France could be the favorites. I don't know if we fixed Gary's audio or not yet. Is he back, Gary? Are you here? Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Yeah, but then, whilst we're waiting for Gary, Alex, but for real, tell me why. I understand you're rooting for France, or you think France might be taking.
Yes.
But listen, I feel like you are how will I define you? You are an unpatriotic citizen of England, and I do not no matter what it is, right? Whether you think or this is definite, you should be talking about England. I don't want to hear you speak about France again.
I do. Obviously, I want England to win. I'm with England all the way. I think as an England fan,
you're just being honest.
You learn to taper your expectations. We got
so that's basically being an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, stop that.
Wait. I feel like just laughing at my Arsenal fans just one more time before. Maybe not. This is going to be the first time I'm laughing at them on this show. My biggest problem with Arsenal fans is they are too loud.
Stop
it's
the slander.
It's the loudness. This season in England, I know we're going off topic. Sorry about that, right? But this season, I wanted Arsenal to literally win the league, right? But I go on Twitter and I see how much the fans speak, and it just makes you feel you just want to see them sad. You don't understand the joy that comes to me when I see Arsenal fans, with their faces looking like meat pie. Do you know what meat pie is in Nigeria?
I can sort of have a guess.
Okay. Anyways, don't worry. After the show, just go Google it, meat pie. That's what their faces looks like when they don't get what they want, and I love to see it. Have you
met a United fan? Just saying. All right, guys, let's talk about dark horses. Alex, we'll start with you for this one. Who is your dark horse and why? Who are you leaning towards here?
Dark horse is a difficult one. I think you look at some of the teams that have done well in recent years. Spain, obviously reaching the semi-final at the last Euros.
I don't think Spain's a dark horse.
I think, you know, when we look at the squad that they have, they've obviously got some really talented youngsters. I don't think they have what it takes to win. Italy, can they go again? I'm sceptical about that as well. But I think, I don't know whether, can I call Germany a dark horse?
No, absolutely not. They're hosting the tournament. Okay.
Wait, why is he calling all the favorites?
Yeah. Okay, let me give you an example. A dark horse, because I have two. The Ukraine and Turkey. These are dark horses, and these are serious dark horses.
Right now, I'm not even going to include Ukraine from what I saw them play just a couple of days ago. Right?
Yeah.
But then again, if I want to talk about real dark horses, I will be mentioning people like Belgium. I'll be talking about Portugal. Or do you not classify them
Portugal
as
is not a dark... Portugal didn't lose a qualifying game.
The reason I'm calling Portugal a dark horse is because the guy who's meant to be the favorite,
it's not possible.
the guy who's meant to make them, he's no longer at the level where he used to be before.
Guys, a dark horse is not a favorite. It can't be a top 10 team.
But why would you call Portugal a top, though? Portugal didn't
lose any of their qualifying games.
And so?
And so they are one of the... I think they're one of the top 5 to win. You
top
can't...
5 to win. Should you start mentioning all the countries who are top 5? Like, let's start, right? 1, Germany, Spain,
France, England, and then it's Portugal.
No, definitely not Portugal.
It's Portugal.
No, it can't be
It's
Portugal.
Portugal. No, guys, I'm sorry. I'm refusing. I'm talking about a serious underdog, a team that probably won't might not even make it out of the group. But
I'm gonna stick my neck out here.
Yeah. This is what I want.
And I'm gonna support one of the other countries in the United Kingdom, and I'm gonna say Scotland. I think
Scotland.
They do things right. I've loved the promotion.
See, I think that's a great shout. There you go.
You know, the videos that they've been doing are brilliantly, amazingly funny. So I'm gonna stick my neck on the line, and I'm gonna say Scotland. Although I think it's a very slim chance that Scotland do.
I think I'll go with Netherlands though.
I don't think you can call them a dark horse again.
You guys, you cannot call. These are not. They're not dark horses. I think that the actual definition, like a dark horse, like we're talking about a team
people you would not expect to play to that level, but then they come from nowhere and maybe still.
But then what we saw from Netherlands, they made it to the quarterfinal of the last World Cup, right? And they gave Argentina a run for their money. Like I think you really have to talk about, and I don't want to say this, ignorantly, but the classified kind of smaller teams, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you're not in the top,
Netherlands is always, you always consider Netherlands.
If you're not in the top 5 or 6 to get the title, you're a dark horse to me.
I want to know what any of the viewers who are watching, give us what your dark horses are, because I want to see if these guys are a little off here with their dark horses, choosing top 5, top 10 teams. All right, let's talk about now which game, is going to be the best that we're covering on SportyTV, because we have, like I mentioned, a number of really, really solid matches. I have mine, and I think it's very biased, but just from the group stage games, I think the Spain and Italy game is going to just be phenomenal. It's a massive rivalry in Europe. We are obviously here in Madrid. The fans are going to be going crazy. This is a rematch of the Euro finals in 2012. Yes, 2012. We also saw this match in the last Euros in the semifinals when Italy beat out Spain in penalties. It's a deep-rooted rivalry, I feel, and I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be fantastic, and I think also an opportunity for Luis de la Fuente to maybe prove his worth as a coach, because he's had some selection problems, I guess. He's had a bit of a headache. There's been some players that, we'll get onto this later, that maybe could have made that squad that didn't. A certain Brahim Diaz now opting to play for Morocco instead of Spain. So I think, some difficult matches ahead for Spain, but I think if they play their cards right, they could be in with a conversation of going all the way. But yeah, Spain-Italy is always a cracker. 2 top teams and some really good players in that team, both of them.
Clinton, what games?
No, I think it's definitely going to be the Spain-Italy. I mean, if I'm able to see all the teams on the screen, you'd probably even help me more. But
Netherlands and France is another, for example.
Netherlands and France.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's going to be a crazy one
too.
Could
be very interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see, obviously, Mbappe, Griezmann. I mean, fact is, you know, like the conversation earlier about who the favorites are. Fact is, nobody can go against saying it cannot be France. I feel like it has to be France. Yeah, but sometimes just watching the game they played with Canada just yesterday, you know, it kind of like gave me that shift back, you know. Right? Are you sure this year's Euro is not? You know, it might be very different from the way I see things. I mean, look at England as well. Like England having all the kind of players they have, losing to Iceland. Like Iceland, England. You have Phil Foden. You have the guy from Chelsea, the young guy, Cole Palmer, right? You have Saka came later on during the game.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
You have Harry Kane. Like I feel like England has everything it takes to be winning a World Cup, not just a Euros, right? But what is going on with England? What's up?
I mean, we spoke about Gareth Southgate.
I feel like he should be if England make it to the not even the quarterfinals, even the semi-final, or even the finals without winning it, he deserves to be fired. If the English, whatever football federation does not fire him, I am doing it myself. I'm literally I am stepping in, and Gary Southgate has to go. Like, you can't have the best players globally in your team. I mean, it's almost like what's happening in Nigeria, for example, right?
Well, we'll get to Nigeria.
Okay.
I've heard that Gary has joined us again, so I'd like to ask him who your favorite is to win the Euros. Gary, are you with us?
I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
We are back.
All the way from Ghana, it's saying.
Yeah. Look, I've missed a chunk of it, so I'm going to pack everything into like a 90-second blitz. First of all, I mean, I think that is essentially a little known contender that tends to overachieve, okay? So based on that definition, if we all agree, I'd go, for example, for a team like Hungary. Nice. I'd go for a team like Denmark, Ukraine, and Turkey, like you mentioned.
Thank you.
Now,
here we are. Gary.
No, Gary, stop making this fine girl laugh. Like, you see, when she's laughing, she's looking less pretty. I want her to be. No, don't go there.
So that's what I think dark horses are. Obviously, that, you know, like somebody would have to literally go on to Google and find out a bit more about them and not the obvious. So these are the ones. The favorites, I think when I number crunch and I look at the squads, in as much as I would love to see free-flowing football and a team that plays, you know, in a very, in a way full of flair and all that, Didier Deschamps' semi-anti football ticks the boxes for me because he simply knows, like I think all of you have said in your submissions, how to do it in a tournament way. Look, France, as we speak, could name 4 Euro 2024 squads and they would have another starting 11 to spare. They are that ridiculously stacked, you know. And I think that the fact that they even had the arrogance in a nice way to name a 25-man squad when they had the option 26.
Yeah.
26 tells you everything that you need to know. And I think that, you know, more importantly, or perhaps most importantly, is the fact that that team are still hungry. I don't know where they get their hang up from, and I'd love to know what they tell them in that dressing room. I mean, they were just 90 minutes away from becoming the first team since 1962 or so to win a back-to-back World Cup, and yet they are still going. There's no complacency in that squad. It has to be something about the way they choose the players, how they motivate these guys to keep going and to want more, and I think that's what is going to keep them. I mean, just because I've missed so much, let me add what I think is going to happen in every stage of the competition. So obviously, France are going to blitz the group. I think that if you work it out, I think France are, you can take this to the bank. Okay, I don't know which bank you bank.
If I take it to the bank, will I be able to withdraw it though?
Well, that's another question for another day. I think I'm going to beat Turkey in the round of 16. They are going to beat them. They go into the quarterfinals, and from my piece of paper, they are going to meet Belgium. Somebody mentioned Belgium. I think it was Clinton mentioned Belgium as a dark horse. They're going to meet Belgium and then beat them. Then they go to the semi-final. They meet England in the semi-final, show them who the boss is. They go to the final and meet and meet Portugal. And then they say bye-bye to Cristiano Ronaldo, even though he's not going to retire. Because he's going to make it to the Euros final, he's going to say, yeah, I made it to the final, so put me in that 2026 World Cup squad. So that's how I think it's going to go for France.
Oh, wow. I love it. I have a very similar bracket here. We'll have to compare our brackets before Friday because that's obviously when it starts. Yeah, no, we'll do one because I think Gary and I are on the same page here. But guys, obviously, we kind of can agree that France and England have the two best rosters, let's say, overall. Klinton, when you think of the best squads in the 21st century, a team like Spain comes to mind, winning, you know, the Euros, the World Cup, the Euros, you know, never to have been done with players like Andres Iniesta, Xavi, Bussi, David Villa, you know, David Silva, Fernando Torres.
It's your Spanish accent mentioning this name that's like,
Iker Casillas, Carles Puyol, Gerard Piqué. I mean, this was a team for the generations and generations we'll be talking about this football team. But Klinton, I'll start with you. Is there another team that you think of when you think of the best team of the 21st century?
The best team of the 21st century. Damn, man. You know,
maybe what Klinton thinks we can ask you, Alex.
Please, Alex.
Because you're racking the brain. I can see the little.
Alex, go on, man. Go on.
There's a few potential options. I think obviously you talk about that Spain squad. You know, I remember growing up. I was only 8 when that dynasty started, when they won the Euros in 2008, and you know, to win the World Cup and then the Euros again, you know, it rarely happens. And you know, some fantastic players, as you mentioned. But I think if you look at the team like Germany, who won the World Cup in 2014, they were a fantastic group of players. France, who obviously won the World Cup, you know, Mbappe leading the way. I think, you know, there's so many options. I want to try and squeeze in an England team there, but I'm not sure I can really. You know, maybe in the 90s, but no, I think there's too many to choose from, and I think we're just lucky to have seen so many good teams play, and you know, hopefully some more youngsters coming through to compete with those best teams of the 21st century.
Yeah, I mean, I think France is a great shout because I think since they've won that World Cup, I mean, of course, the 2000 France team was unbelievable as well, right? Coming off of a World Cup win in '98, but I think France, since winning in 2018 that World Cup, they've been relevant since. Even if they're not winning, they're going the distance. And I think with Germany, you didn't see that. They had a great team in 2014, of course, smashing Brazil 7-1. Can you imagine? But they didn't stay relevant. Spain was relevant for so long, and I think that's what we're seeing France do. And as Gary alluded to, winning as well. You know, the Euros, we kind of all have them as our favorites. If they do this again, I mean...
Yeah. I feel like while we give France all the accolades and everything, we should always give Africa the more accolades.
No, and we must.
No, I mean, facts.
We must.
This is, I feel like there were no Africans, there wouldn't be any French squad. Like, that's making us speak about France today. At some point when we saw France displaying at the World Cup, it felt like this was literally Africa versus whoever country they were playing. Like, fam, let's just agree on that. Give credit to the Africans. It's Africans winning the World Cup for France. Have you? Yeah. Are we on the same page? In fact, I feel like I feel. See, let me teach you one stuff in Pidgin English, so that whenever I ask this question, you guys can just confirm with me. You know, if I say you dey follow, say I dey follow. You dey follow, Abi?
I dey follow.
Correct, guy. You said it like a worry boy. Say you dey follow.
You dey follow?
No, say I dey follow. You dey follow.
I dey follow.
God, now your intonation now has to come down a bit, right? So I dey follow.
I dey follow.
I dey follow.
I dey follow.
God, these Canadians, man.
Stop this. All right, guys, we have a question from one of our viewers, actually, and it's for you, Klinton. I have a question for Klinton. Somebody told me that you're an amazing footballer. I wonder who it could be. Do you think you're better than Nico Jackson? And what about Cristiano Ronaldo? Thank you very much. You are the best.
Are you writing these questions?
No, I don't.
Surely.
I don't need to.
Someone in the back room.
I don't need to write these questions because these questions they always come to me a lot of the times when I speak to people about how blessed I am when it comes to me being on the pitch. Now, I will start with Nicholas Jackson. First of all, And I will say it clear. I'm not even hiding my mouth. I'm not being hypocritical or anything. I'm telling you right in front of the camera, I am better than Nicholas Jackson from now till thy kingdom come, okay? I am better than Nicholas Jackson from now to the next life. I am better than Nicholas Jackson even if he decides to train and becomes a monster. Facts. Now, I can tell you, I can give you statistics as to why I believe I am better. Go to a place in Bedfordshire, back in England. Go ask people about who I am as a striker. Go ask people about what I've done on the pitch, right? You would now, you would ask yourself, why am I not getting paid to play football?
Can we get someone to quickly look up your transfer market?
That'd be grand.
Yes,
That would be
yes.
grand.
The only problem is my stats and my transfer news, they are not online. They are in people's heads.
That's handy, that is.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, they have promised me that they will start uploading this stuff online, but they've just not uploaded anything just yet. Okay?
They're in paper format.
Yeah, I mean, they are not even in paper format. They are just, you know where God wrote the 10 Commandments for Moses. So, you know, that's where they've written my own stats, and they are yet to find where it is. But fact, Nicholas Jackson, I am better. Cristiano Ronaldo, I think this age where he is now, I will perform better than Cristiano right now in a Portuguese team.
Nuts.
Cristiano of before, definitely not. I mean, he's a GOAT. He's one of the greatest of all time. Yeah? But right now, I will perform better than Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow. All right. On that note, we'll just leave it right there. We have Alex, our Alex 2.0 rather, coming to us from Manchester. Let's talk about England. Alex, thank you for joining us.
Hey guys, how are we getting on? Everyone.
Well, somehow we've gotten some Manchester weather here in Madrid because it's absolutely pouring and it's freezing as well.
Yeah,
so.
we don't know where Alex 2.0 is. It which Alex is this one? Is it one?
I don't know.
Well, okay, Alex 1.0. We don't know. He went to Malaga and all of a sudden it's like he dropped some rubbish weather and then went there to enjoy himself. Alex, no, you've got something to confess. You would confess eventually.
Oh. I can't. I was going to argue about being Alex 1.0, 2.0, but if I've not got a bow tie on, I can't be doing that today. That's a definite no. I can't be arguing that one today. I can't argue that today.
Sorry, no, you can't.
And it sounds like we have to do a special of putting Klinton in a local Spanish team to see how good he really is. That's going to be the next feature,
Alex, trust me.
We have to do this.
I'm rooting for exactly that, and I pray one day it happens because I need to shut a lot of people up. Okay, I'm saying all of these and they think I'm joking, right? Now, if it doesn't happen, the one thing I might have to do is we might have to put all my ex-colleagues from where I used to play, right? We need to get them on a call for them to confirm everything.
I need to see it with my own two eyes, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I think there might be some clips of me scoring one of the best goals in England. You know, we are, like when I say England, you know what I mean, right? Like
Bedfordshire.
Bedfordshire. I mean, that's the maximum I've been so far. And God knows I am the best. Listen, do you know how many goals I scored in one season back there?
Well, you're going to tell me a number.
No, they were counting the goals. They were counting my goals to the point they lost count. Like, they felt like, no, okay, at this point.
It's easy to score than in Bedfordshire.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know the worst thing is? It's even more difficult. We had, I can't remember, there were some players whom we had from, so they are not like, say, pro league players, but these are people who played professionally back in, say, places like Cyprus, Poland. They played with us, and they played with me, and they told me that, yo, which team have you played for in the past professional? I said, no, I've not played. This is how much I was able to impress them. The kind of goals I've scored in my life, and if you see me play and then you see Nicholas Jackson play, you will be like, nah, there's something off.
We have to get this. We have to get this to happen in front of us because I mean, the talk is incredible.
Damn, imagine after saying all of this and the ball comes to me.
Yeah,
I'm not even able to
no touch. No touch. All right, Alex, let's talk. Let's talk about England. Tell me, how do you think they're going to fare in this tournament? I know it's always a bit scary as an Englishman yourself.
It's not much confidence after the last few games, especially the Iceland game has not happened. And I just think that we're lacking pace. That's the big thing. We're lacking a lot of pace. And I don't think he's got the balance right. And I think a lot of that comes down to the defenders that are available. I think a lot of people don't like him, but I think Harry Maguire is going to be a big miss in this tournament. I think you need Harry Maguire, especially with who you're bringing in. I don't think we've been planning for an alternative without Harry Maguire, and now he's going to have to. The fact we've not got a left back as well at this moment in time, if Luke Shaw doesn't get fit, I'm really worried about it. But who knows? Bellingham back in the team for the first game. He's not been playing these last few weeks, obviously with winning the Champions League, which was much more important than playing a few friendlies. He may change everything and may lift us a little bit. But I think it's got to be, you've got to find a way of getting Bellingham, Foden, Kane, Rice, Mainoo all into the same team, as well as who's that other person? Is it Saka? Is it Anthony Gordon? I'd have had Rashford as an option, but yeah, that's where I'm sitting with it at this moment in time.
What is a successful Euros looking like for this England side? Where do they need to get to at least for the fans to say, all right, you know what? It's been all right. It's been okay.
It's one of those. It all depends. I think, we felt like we had a successful World Cup, even though we only got to the quarterfinals and we got beaten by a good France team, and that's kind of what it is. England should not be getting beat by anybody but France or Portugal, really, in my opinion. I think we should beat any other team, considering the trajectory we've had in the other tournaments. I think we're at that level at the minute, and I don't fully agree with Klinton. We're not sacking him straight away, but if he gets knocked out by a team that isn't one of those, maybe Germany is another one. If he gets beat by another one, if he doesn't 100% this group that he's in, then yeah, I think I'll drive you to the airport, Klinton. We can both pick him up and we can sack him on the spot. I think that'll be it. It can be all over from there because he's just, he needs a big tournament at this moment in time.
Alex, do you agree with Alex as our two, English representatives here?
I do. I think, I'm more apprehensive than confident. Obviously Jude Bellingham back, as Alex said, is a big positive. We know how good of a player he is, but I think the leadership, the defensive issues, I think, is a really big thing. Harry Maguire for Manchester United maybe not had the best of seasons. I think that's fair to say. But when he plays for England, he's a completely different player. And I think he not only offers that little bit of security in defence, he's that experience, and without Luke Shaw, a left back, is a really important position. So I think there are a few key positions missing there, and I don't think England will have what it takes to go all the way. I really hope they do, but I'm sceptical.
Yeah, for sure. Alex Bagley, who was the biggest snub, I guess you could say, for this England squad, in your opinion? Who do you think should be there right now?
I think you should have had one of Grealish or Rashford. I think that it's one of those things. I know he's picking on form and different things like that, but Jack Grealish and Marcus Rashford have done it at international level, and you're now relying on good players in terms of, you've got Jarrod Bowen, you've got Anthony Gordon, but they haven't done it at this level. They haven't played. And I still think that if you're going to throw someone on the pitch, someone like a Marcus Rashford, someone like a Jack Grealish, I think has that confidence to do it. I think in terms of defence, I think Jared Branthwaite's been unlucky to miss out as the kind of backup option. I thought he maybe deserved it over Lewis Dunk, but apart from that, there's not too many options. I think injuries have kind of hit us in the wrong places and things like that. So I think those three are the big ones that have missed out in this tournament.
Anyone else you guys want to quickly mention from England?
I mean, for me, I'm going straight to Rashford. I'm also surprised Maguire didn't make it either, because Maguire is somebody that's proven that he might not be the best for Manchester United as a defender, but when it comes to playing for England, he's like, there's this beast mode level that comes out of Maguire, and you're like, fam, I think you're getting paid to play shit for Manchester United. Like, there's just something off. I don't understand why you would perform like this in England, and then you come to Manchester United, and then you're the opposite of who you are. But speaking about Marcus Rashford again, I feel like Rashford is that guy that has proven himself to be a global superstar when it comes to football. We've seen him do it so many times, especially one of the games we watched, Manchester United against Manchester City. There's this goal he scored literally the couple of minutes opening in the game, and in my head I'm like, I can't believe this guy plays for Manchester United. But sometimes when you see his form, he's like, what's going on with Rashford? But the one reason why I feel like they shouldn't have snubbed them for this particular tournament is the fact that Marcus Rashford comes with a persona, right? It's a bit like what we were speaking about when we were speaking about Vinicius earlier. I don't know. Marcus Rashford comes with that kind of person where, as a defender, when you see him coming with the ball, you would think about the kind of things he's done before, and there's going to be that level of fear that might come to you as a defender that, this guy is not somebody to mess about with, right? Then again, you can also still say that maybe because of his previous performances where he's not been to the level, he's not been playing to the level where you expect him. As a defender, you might gain some level of confidence and be like, no. But the thing about Rashford is he will deliver when you least expect. I feel like whenever he's serious to play football, when Rashford wants to play, at some point I would have thought that Rashford would be on the same level as what we're speaking about Kylian Mbappe today, or even be on the same level as Vinicius. But then again, what's happened? I do not understand. But then again, would I have left him out on the squad in England? No, I would definitely have him there.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, we have to thank Alex coming to us from Manchester. We will be speaking with you shortly, I'm sure, and keep on covering England. Gary, let me ask you about who your favorite player will be to watch in this tournament, and maybe who's going to win the Best Player award at the Euros.
That got me there. Wow, I haven't thought of that, but I think, yeah, it goes without saying, but, I think I want to watch Kylian try to prove from now why he deserves to play in the starting 11 of Real Madrid. I think he's going to start doing it now, and that's the exciting thing for me. We know the levels to which he can raise his game, but from minute in the first game for France, he's going to be sending a message to Carlo Ancelotti, that I am the man for the job, just to remind everybody. Then, of course, there's Jude Bellingham. So these seem to be the obvious names. But for some reason, football fans, as fickle as we are, as forgetful as we are, we collectively have the memories of elephants. We are short. Our memories are so short that people are saying that he's done it for Real Madrid, but he's yet to carry this England team as if that's his job. I mean, there's Harry Kane there. He's the captain. He should be carrying this England team because he scores a handful of goals for both club and for country. But Harry needs to be able to take England beyond the favorite stack to being winners. But I feel like it's somebody like Jude Bellingham who, in this plethora of insanely stacked English midfielders, a midfield combination that reminds us of, the Gerrard Lampard days. People sort of think it's his job to do. So I would want to see how he reacts to it as well. And then the Netherlands. I think collectively they have a solid unit coming. Okay. I think that they have the potential to also quietly surprise. If you look at the way they've played, I'm thinking that front three, and let me just raise my hands up there. Their front three, if you check the front three, they actually have the potentially have a front three that is Ghanaian. So in the last game, they played Brobe, Frimpong, and Memphis Depay, and everybody was going crazy down here because potentially, I mean, if they could click, and they did click in that game, and you saw Memphis and Frimpong doing the Ghanaian dance, and he explained what it was. I mean, I have a personal, I just want to see them, but from that sentiment of view, look at the squad you put on there as well. On the face of it, nothing to write home about. But if you know your football and you know how these guys play and click as a group, you should feel that they have the potential to beat anybody. Which brings me to my fourth team, Portugal. Look, I want Portugal to go far, so not because of the Cristiano Ronaldo angle. I actually would want them to do it without Cristiano because this team have been slept on. They have the potential not to beat just everybody in the Euros, to beat anybody in the world. I mean, take a second to look at this team from goalkeeper to the last player. Is it Rafael Leao who is afraid of anybody? Nope. Bernardo Silva? Nope. Vitinha? Paulinho? Nope. Bruno Fernandes? Bruno, I think, Bruno privately, I think if we should put a microphone in front of him, and we tell him that this is just going to be broadcast to, for example, say a therapist, and he's on a one-on-one session, he's going to be so frustrated with not being able to produce for a subpar Manchester United team that he would to prove his mettle with Portugal. And with this Portugal team, he has the opportunity to do it. Cancelo, Ruben Diaz. I mean, these guys can literally walk, forgive me, into any of the other Euros teams, no problem, except maybe France, maybe Germany, maybe Spain. And that's the reason why I want Portugal also to go so far and also to win it. So yeah, there we go. These 4 teams for me.
Perfect. Guys, I haven't heard anyone talk about Germany in terms of the team itself and maybe players to watch. I know we spoke a little bit about Toni Kroos, but this is his final tournament with the team, coming off of an amazing season with Real Madrid this season. And, I mean, there's one, Jamal Musiala, who is an absolute superstar. Is he, Klinton, not one to potentially watch?
I mean, I think it's somebody who we should look forward to, not just for these Euros, but
the future.
Long time, the future of football. When you see how he carries the ball on the pitch, we see his enthusiasm, you know, the mindsets, the kind of things he wants to do on the pitch. You would see a high level Mbappe in him. You know, he's somebody that, you know, even in Bayern Munich, I would go watch their match just to see him display. Okay, Musiala is, you know, it's just somebody I just hope that they give the opportunity to get to the highest level of where I believe he should be. You know, there are some players that you look at and you're like, okay, this person has a very crazy ass potential, and then something happens, and it's exactly what's happened to Marcus Rashford that we were speaking about earlier. You know, I would have thought Rashford today would have been one guy that would have been considered for the Ballon d'Or at some point, but no, he's just there. There are so many players that have come out like that, and then they just end their career. What's the name of the other guy? Anthony Martial as well, right? Sure. You know, he was somebody that I looked forward to seeing play to a very high level, and today where he is, where is he? So Musiala, I look at how he plays, I look at his composition on the pitch, I look at how brave he is to go through defenders and how he's trying to literally give assist on. You would know that, this is somebody you must put your eyes on. He's going to deliver. You know, don't underestimate the German team this time around. They are going to, you know, it's not, when you see a team like Germany, whether it's a friendly game or whatever, you just know they will deliver. It's not like England where, you know, sorry, I'll have to throw my shoes on England again. But I just feel very upset looking at the kind of players they have in England. You would think facing a team like Iceland, even in a friendly, you would be expecting like maybe 5-0 or maybe 5-1 or something. And then they end up getting defeated. Like, who does that? Do you see? So it's just one of those, just keep an eye on Musiala.
Yeah.
He's a star.
You see some of the fearless elements in his play. You compare it to Rashford when he was coming through in terms of, you know, he was scoring goals, he was making assists, you know, he was lighting the league a lot. And he's a fantastic player, and I think one for the future, and could even potentially see him make a move over to the Premier League in the near future.
That would be so beautiful to see. Honestly, there are some players I feel like how I would just wish they came to the Premier League just to let me see how. You know, with this, let's say people that play in Spain or Germany, right? Or no, I would say more like Spain and Germany. You would think it's just there. Now, some of them come to England and then they become, So for me, it's that experiment. I can't wait to see. Just release some of this. I would have loved to see Mbappe in England. I swear to you.
Who needs Musiala the most right now in the Prem? What team?
Do you mean what team he would sit on comfortably in Premier League?
Sure.
Musiala, that's a very good question. I think right now I would love to see Musiala play for. He would sit well in Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool. I think Liverpool is probably my. Liverpool seems like that sort of team that would give him the opportunity to run. I mean, look at what Darwin Núñez does in Liverpool, right? Obviously, the only problem with Darwin Núñez is scoring, but Liverpool is a team that they would find a way to bring the chances, right? It's just it's like Chelsea almost, right? And if you bring me back again to Nicolas Jackson.
No, stop, please, no. Alex Bagley, sorry, my apologies. I think I dismissed you earlier. I didn't realize you were staying with us for the rest of the show, so this is brilliant. Would Jamal Musiala fit at Manchester United?
I think he would. I think we'd take anyone at that level.
Yeah, I think he would too.
I don't think he would want to come to Manchester United right now. He's in a very good Bayern Munich team. Whether Vincent Kompany's the right coach for them is a very different discussion. But yeah, I think he would definitely fit at Manchester United. I think United need a lot of good players. You were mentioning Bruno Fernandes before. He's been fantastic for Man United, and he steps up whenever he's needed, kind of thing. And I think that he'll do a great job this tournament for Portugal. And I think, like you mentioned there, he's got the ability to raise that team and do that. Whether that is a team, this is kind of the post Ronaldo era. I think he'll be the one that hopefully stands up and is the main one in that team.
Can I also ask you who you are looking forward to watching in terms of players in the Euros, and who may be the best player of the tournament as well?
Best player of the tournament's a big shout. It's one to think of. But I'm looking forward to seeing Portugal as a whole. I think they've kind of been overlooked in all this, and I think they've got a lot of good players coming through. I'm interested in seeing João Neves being linked to the Premier League in loads of different places, hopefully at Manchester United. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this summer and in the Euros. But also, again, being biased and seeing someone like Diogo Dalot, who has had one of the few shining lights for Manchester United this season. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. But I think player of the tournament, I mentioned him there. I think Bruno Fernandes has the possibility of doing that. I think he can step up and do that, and he's probably me overlooked. Look, I think Mbappe will do it. Mbappe will score goals. He will always do that. And it's the same thing with Germany. Kroos will be very, very good. We know that's going to happen. But I'm hoping that there's some standouts. That there's the likes of Bruno Fernandes, and again, being biased, Kobbie Mainoo. I hope he plays every minute for England, and I hope he runs the show, because he's the main man, and I'm hoping he does the job in it for England.
Sorry, Alex, quick one, right? Talking about Kobbie Mainoo that you've just mentioned, I don't know if you saw the game, the England versus Iceland. What would you say about his performance in that particular game? Do you think he's played to the level he's played in Manchester United, or do you think he's dropped? Because I went on social media and I saw so many people speaking things about his performance. What do you think about his performance in that one?
Look, it's one of those. Mentioning Manchester United is the easy thing to do, and everyone jumps on it. So Kobbie Mainoo not having his best game is the easy way of getting people to click on your articles and stuff. So I don't think he had his best game, but I don't think any of the England team had the best game. He got blamed for a goal where Declan Rice wasn't good enough, John Stones wasn't good enough, and Aaron Ramsdale, don't get me started on him. I don't think he should be playing for England. So I don't get why he was the one. He's 19 years old, 19 years old. He shouldn't be the one that kind of does that. He should have the pressure because he's a very, very, very good player. But he shouldn't be the one you're relying on. That's what £100 million Declan Rice is for. That's what treble winning John Stones is for. And that's what these other players are there for in the squad. Kobbie Mainoo's there to add that little bit of extra in that midfield, progress the ball. Look, I think he'll do really, really well. I'm also excited to see Adam Wharton as well. He's kind of a late entry to the team. I think he's a top player as well. I think there's a future England partnership with Adam Wharton and Kobbie Mainoo in midfield.
Do you think Kobbie should be starting? Like, if you were the coach, would you be starting him at this point in his career? Right. Yes. Okay.
I love that. I'd love to see more
Kobbie. I think the other options are Conor Gallagher, who I think is a good player, but I don't think he's got the quality, especially when you've got the likes of Jude Bellingham who has to play, especially when you've got the likes of Declan Rice that has to play. I think Kobbie Mainoo is the perfect partner or addition to that trio. I think he's the one that fits in there and goes like that. I think there's other good players that maybe could have more experience, but Kobbie Mainoo, for me, if England want to keep the ball and progress the ball well, you have to keep him in that team, especially when you're missing centre halves to do that for you. I think he's got to play.
Gary, let me ask you, who do you think is going to have a breakout tournament at the end of this? Who are we going to look back and say, they were the guy, we didn't really know much about them, but this is going to be the tournament where they really come and shine? Oh, I've lost
Alex started with
Adam
Adam Wharton. Yeah. I think Adam mentioned Adam Wharton. I mean, he's one that I've been really excited. And he has a great story, So if you were looking at dark horses of players, he would be a dark horse because, I mean, 3 months ago, who would have thought he would have even made a Euro squad? And he's one of the players I'm rooting for across the tournament because you want him to have a good story to inspire the next generation of players. Kobbie Mainoo is one, obviously. Then away from England, Ada Güler. This guy's attitude for Real Madrid has been exemplary. I think he's been bending over backwards to prove to Real Madrid that I want you. Like, I want nothing but Real Madrid. If you won't play me in 2 years, I will stay. I'm going to wait for my opportunity. And he's one of those players like Kylian for France, who wants to stake his claim for Real Madrid one day in the starting 11. Arda Güler will use Turkey to give Carlo Ancelotti headaches as well. I'm thinking that's I mean, he's so talented. The little opportunity he's been given, he's going to do that as well. I think we should look out for, in Turkey, the Juventus starlet Kenan Yildiz. He and Arda Güler, Turkey have two of the most exciting teenage forward in world football in their ranks as well. So I think you should look out for those two. And then Ukraine have a player called Horhi. I don't know if the pronunciation is right. Heorhii. It's basically Georgie, but it's pronounced Horhi Sudakov as well. He plays for Shakhtar Donetsk. He's a playmaker. You look at the way he plays, already being touted to big clubs across the continent. But I think that if Ukraine go out of the group stages, he's one of those players who's going to have a deal done before the end of the Euros, and he's going to follow in the path set out by his senior, Mikhail as well. He finished the club campaign with 10 goals, 6 assists in all competitions. He was also a standout in Europe because he's shone in the tough group in the Champions League, if you remember. And he was in the Europa League as well after were unfortunate to be eliminated. So what are his attributes? Look out for standing. He's a little Mudryk because Mudryk, that's 1-2 overs. He's just going to burn you face. Sudakov is a bit more relaxed on the ball. Main gives his eye for a pass. You can think of Santiago Alcantara with a little less bit of skill, and he executed well from a number 10 role, and he's great as well. So these are some of the players, and he's only 20, by the way. Sudakov is only 21.
Speaking about the Ukraine tour, I was going to say Artem Dovbyk as well, 24 goals this season for La Liga. I'm telling you guys, Ukraine is one to watch.
I mean, I would, aside the fact of, the last game I've just watched a friendly, which kind of like dropped my confidence in them. I would have expected them to be, part of that dark horses conversation we were having earlier. Ukraine 100%. I think, we should look forward to what they have. But then, earlier we were speaking about players like Rashford who didn't make it to the team. There's this other guy in France I feel like we didn't speak about who, no way I would never ever speak about him, the guy from Crystal Palace.
Michael Olise.
Michael Olise is somebody who I believe is one of the world best. When I say I'm not talking about Crystal Palace or French, I don't understand why he's gone to play for France, considering how, the kind of squad. In fact, let me speak to him directly on the camera. Michael Olise, your name is Igbo, so I can speak Igbo. Biko, Ejim Chuka Yogi. Yeah? Please. Come and play for Nigeria, please. Please. There are people you say they can. You see, he's. I don't know. I'm trying to think about somebody who's very popular, who's making it in football. I can comfortably tell you that he's way better than. Like I will play him over somebody like Dembele. Maybe Dembele plays from the proper right on, the far extreme, and maybe Olise comes through the middle somehow, right? But listen, this guy is. I don't know why France would treat. He would have played for England, right? But then
still can if you want to. Michael.
Don't go to England, Olise. Ejekwan England. England. Fama Mbokwago. Biko. Come and play for the Super Eagles. Let's appreciate the talent that you have. Michael Olise will walk into the Nigerian Super Eagles, and I believe that a lot of the guy is just next level.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I don't know if you've seen him. Like he's the most composed human being I've seen on the pitch. Like he plays as if it's not football he's playing, right? And when I hear that he's not gone to the main team in France, I'm like, what? Like, wait, this is somebody that any team would easily pay for him to get their citizenship just so he's able to play. Like, I don't know. Please come to Nigeria and play.
May I interject? Klinton?
Yes, sir.
I mentioned when I was doing my little France preview that France are one of the teams that could comfortably name 4 Euro squads and have a starting 11 waiting back home to spare. And I think the thing with France is Michael Olise is not the only player who fits into that. Why are you going into an already France team category? I think the thing for those players is that they see a squad so good that if they get into this Euro squad, it's a personal challenge for themselves to challenge themselves. If Didier Deschamps has 60 players that he can comfortably call, and he has in this 25, let me go to Germany. Let me show him that I may not make it into the starting 11, but anything can happen. I mean, somebody gets injured in the first game, the second game, third game. Didier Deschamps looks back onto the bench and says, Olise, let me give you a try. Or maybe France are 3-0 up against one of their group opponents, and he says, let me give you a try, Michael Olise. You have 14 minutes, you have 15 minutes to show something. And if, sometimes players say, if the coach makes a mistake to give me an opportunity, that would be the biggest mistake of his life. So I think Michael Olise fits into that category, because I was also wondering, you see, the Super Eagles, Nigeria, I'm looking at the qualifiers right now, and Nigeria are a player or two away from elevating to becoming the best Africa. And I think that England are already stacked, but the problem with England is a good one. The chances of breaking into that England midfield right now, I think
you will need a native doctor.
Right. I mean, you've seen Eze do it. It is possible.
Well,
it's possible.
Can I interject really quickly, because I have a question actually for me, and it's about Eze. And it says, question for Sarah, Eze has made the England squad. Do you think he will play good minutes in the Euros? As much as I would love to see him, and I hope he does, I am struggling to see him get good minutes. Now, what's good minutes? I'd say probably starting or play roughly, let's say, 60. I see him kind of on the other end of that. I see him a bit more playing maybe, coming in as a sub, maybe the 70th minute. Because what's happened now with England is that with Jude Bellingham probably playing through the middle there, that's going to push Phil Foden out to the left, which is where Eze preferably likes to play. So I think that's why, and with the way Phil Foden is playing, there's no way you don't start him. We all know that. So I think he will get minutes. Will they be good? I don't think so. Because yes, like we mentioned, this England midfield is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It's they just have way too many options, and it's going to be a really hard job for Gary.
Yeah. Alex Bagley, what do you think about Eze and the squad and him? What minutes are you thinking he's going to get?
I agree, completely agree. I think he's been a great player for Crystal Palace towards the end of the season. Him and Olise made them, went from relegation to being a top 10 team in no time. They were unbelievable. But I agree, I don't think he's going to get the minutes. It's one of those, it depends. If England win their first two games, 3-0, they top the group and it's all over, then maybe you see him start in the last game in the group and get some minutes. But this is why I'm not sure about kind of taking him. Is he the right person to bring on and change a game? Are you going to bring him on to change the game? That's the big question for me. That's I was mentioning before about Grealish and Rashford. You know what you're going to get. Maybe they've not been informed, but are you going to bring on Eze to change the game with 10 minutes to go? Are they going to take off a Phil Foden for Eze? It doesn't make sense to me that they're going to do that. So I'm just not sure about him being in this squad. And maybe it's just the experience. But I mentioned, look what France have done with Olise. They've left him at home. They don't need to throw someone like that in. They've got experienced players that will come on and do the job, that they know what they're going to get. And I think that's the mistake that maybe Gareth Southgate's made in the selection with Eze and maybe even Anthony Gordon. But I think he's just had a bit more consistent with Anthony Gordon as well.
Well, this time I heard it's for real, Alex, that you are leaving us. So I want to say thank you so much. And I'm sure we will talk very, very soon.
No, great to be on. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
Guys, when we're talking about snubs, though, here, do you guys have anyone that you want to talk about that is potentially the biggest snub from any team? What players were you thinking were going to be at this tournament and now they're not? Alex is jumping. Go.
Yes. Where do I start? I mean,
Sure.
I think, I agree fully with what Alex has just said. I think Eze is a fantastic player. He's shown that he can play at the top level. He's done well for Crystal Palace. But, in these major competitions, you need players who have that experience. I think Jack Grealish, when he plays for his country, he seems to be a little bit of a different player. He's plays with a lot more freedom. You can see him making those runs. Rashford as well, he's a big-time player. We saw him, a game I pick out against PSG in the Champions League when he scored that penalty to send United through. Players like Eze and Olise, obviously fantastic players, but lack that big game experience. So I think, there are a few snubs. Potentially you could look at Jadon Sancho, whether he deserves to be in that squad. I think he's someone that, at the beginning of the season you would have given him no chance. But after going on loan to Dortmund, he's come back, he's had a good run. Obviously made the Champions League final, but not just England. There are so many other players. I look at Julian Brandt, I look at Mats Hummels, I look at Jasper Cillessen for the Netherlands. There are so many players that could have made the Euros, and it shows you how cutthroat football is, and it shows you how you have to be really on it. And to be honest, I do think some of the managers have made the mistakes.
Sure.
I think picking Mats Hummels would have been brilliant.
This was massive.
Goretzka, Julian Brandt had a brilliant season with Borussia Dortmund. I look at Fikayo Tomori. He could have been a brilliant option at centre-back for England. Pedro Porro for Spain.
Sure.
Some experience. Miguel Gutierrez obviously lacking that experience, but had a brilliant season with Girona. So there are some really good players out there that have missed out.
Gary, who's the biggest snub for you? Any players that we haven't mentioned for any, of these national teams?
Yeah, you guys pretty much covered, especially with the list Alex just gave, But so let's look at Italy. Locatelli was a surprise omission for me. Locatelli, Julian Brandt as well. Rafael Guerrero. I love that player. I absolutely love Guerrero. Is that guy a midfielder or a defender? Does anybody really know? Because he reminds me so much of what's the former German captain, the diminutive guy, Philipp Lahm.
Oh, wow. What a shout.
Yeah, he plays in so many positions. Wasn't it Philipp Lahm that Pep Guardiola famously used as a midfielder as well, right? And to confuse everybody else. So, in addition to everybody that's been mentioned, I think some of the ones I'd put forward are Emre Can. We didn't mention Emre Can as well, right? I think Nagelsmann, that's a huge call that he left out, in addition to Leon Goretzka also. Ian Maatsen, the Netherlands didn't add him as well. I don't know if you know how good Ian Maatsen is. He's never earned a cap for the Netherlands, but, after a strong loan spell at Dortmund, I thought that getting into the Champions League final with Dortmund was good enough to get Ian Maatsen in there. But he couldn't make it. And then this is a name you would know, Pau Torres.
Yes.
So these are the
and that the look says it all.
Having obviously we're mentioning all of these players, but there's still somebody from Crystal Palace who was left out, who should have been playing for France, and we've not mentioned him. And I feel like he's somebody who could be on a beast mode when he's put as a striker. I've given it to you now, Mateta.
Jean-Philippe Mateta.
Mateta, fam. No, but Gary, Mateta did not make it into the same French. Obviously, still speaking about the whole thing about France having all of this squad and having some people not making it to that. Mateta,
he's in the Olympic squad. He's in the Olympic squad.
No, but for me, yes, even Olise is in the Olympics.
Yeah.
He's in the Olympic squad as well, right? For me, I feel like these guys did deserve to be playing in the Euros. They should be playing in the what? Michael Olise, Mateta. I think we need to give something to the Crystal Palace, the coach they've had though, because when you look at the kind of
Oliver Glasner.
He's done a fantastic
job. For when you think about the kind of people they are producing from Crystal Palace, he's mentioned it for a team that were from relegation, and boom, they are having all these beast mode level players. It's crazy, man.
Fun fact for you: 4.8% of England's group is Crystal Palace players.
Oh, so you see,
there you go.
So you see, crazy. It's crazy.
A 20th, if you will, just nearly. Just nearly. That's fantastic. Man. Let's wrap our Euro chat up with a little bit of a fun segment here. And I'm going to ask you guys, what is your favorite Euro memory ever. When you think about this tournament, is there something that comes to mind? It doesn't have to be a final. It doesn't have to be your favorite squad. Just a memory that comes to mind. Mr. Klinton Cod, we'll start with you.
For the first time, you actually put a cod on. That's good. I love that. I love that. I love that. Right. For me, it was the final between England and Italy. Right.
Just recently?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was the goal by Luke Shaw. God damn, man. Jesus Christ. Can I tell you why that game, has some level of significance in my mentally for me? It's because on that day I was traveling to Nigeria. I was at the airport and I nearly missed my flight. I swear. Because, so this was in Heathrow Terminal 5, right? And in Terminal 5, usually, I don't know why there are less people usually around the boarding gate. And unfortunately, would I say unfortunately or fortunately? But unfortunately, our gate was literally at the right end of this. So there was this massive screen that was showing the game. And then it felt like I was the only football fan that was seated there waiting for the game. Now, I went to this part of the gate, sat there watching it on this big screen. I didn't know they had announced boarding, right? I was just enjoying.
You were in the zone watching football as a fan.
I was in cloud nine enjoying the game. And trust me, Luke Shaw's goal in that game nearly made me take a flight to Miami instead of Nigeria, like just to go enjoy that goal. Yo, he was a lobby, right? He literally came like the way for a defender,
First touch as well, like.
First touch, like. Boom! The ball went. I was like, whoa.
Do you reckon you could do that? Surely not.
I mean, I've done it times with that number.
Here we go.
I've done it times with that number. Like I said, go check my CV, go ask people questions. I've scored goal from midfield before. I saw the goal that, what's the name? He scored for Chelsea. What's the name of the Caicedo? Right? You remember the goal that goal was supposed to be the goal of the season until Garnacho took it away from him. But I've scored even way better goals than that.
Guys, we need to get a camera and you on the pitch. Like, it's a must. It's a must. We will do it at some point this summer, I'm certain, because there's just too much talking going on.
I just didn't make it in football. And, I don't know if I should say I blame my mom. My mom prayed for me to make it in life, but she just didn't mention where she wanted me to make it. Maybe she was praying for me to make it in entertainment or whatever.
Well, you're here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here, which I'm very happy. Speaking about the sport I didn't make it in, which is quite, ironic and very sad. I feel like I'm a footballer, natural one. Like, you know what some people call me, right? There was a guy that stored my name on his phone as NS. Do you know the meaning of NS? NS means natural striker.
Wow. Wow.
Do you know what it means to get to that level? Like, let me tell you something, right? In my team back in England, right, if I say to them that I won't be available for this match, they cancel the match. They will postpone the match.
That's incredible.
No, facts, because they will tell you, they know that without me, they can win. Mm-hmm. So they have to cancel it. They would have to lobby with the people to say, sorry, this was happened. Like, they even have to lie, but it's just me. It's because I'm not available. I'm that good, Alex. Trust me.
Bedfordshire's finest.
Literally, they say they might have to even promote me. It's no longer going to be Bedfordshire. It's going to be maybe the whole of the I don't know whether it's South or West England or whatever, but I think I'm good enough to take over the whole of that area.
Someone just commented saying, well done, Klinton Cod. And we also have another viewer's memory. 2016, Ronaldo getting injured in the final, and then he became the coach, if you remember that. Yep. How obnoxious. Alex, what's your favorite memory?
I was going to go with that goal, Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Life peaked at that moment for many England fans. We believed, we thought, cool, could we really do this? And unfortunately it wasn't to be, but I picked one from the same competition, the Germany game, the 2-0 win, goals from, Luke Shaw assist, obviously getting involved again, but, I think that was the first proper test that we needed to prove ourselves. And if we could beat Germany, I know they weren't in the best of form at the moment, at that time, but I think still beating a team like Germany with the players they have, Thomas Müller obviously with that big miss, I think once we were able to get past Germany, it was almost proving ourselves that we can beat the big teams and we can compete with them. So yeah, I'd say that was probably my favourite moment, and hopefully my favourite moment will be England winning it this year.
Oh, we'll see. Gary, is there something that memory comes to mind when you think of the best Euro moment for yourself?
I think that would be Euro 2012. There was a certain player when he scored and he did this.
Mario Balotelli. Why always me?
I mean, he produced perhaps his best performance for Italy, right?
Yeah.
Remember, he scored both goals. And this was at the peak Mario, when he was going left and right, and you were not sure when he was going down the middle. So he was just trusted with the responsibility, and he hit both goals for Italy, for the 2-1 win over Germany, and that was in the semi-final Euro 2012. That was quite special.
I think so too.
I think there are quite a number of Euro memories, but this one sticks out also. So it has to be that one.
He's created memes for us, for the ongoing future. Mario Balotelli. I mean, the entertainment is still there. I think for me, I have to say though, Spain in 20. Do you know what I'm realizing now? I think my memory was from the World Cup. I was about to say it, and then I think it was from the. So I'll change mine, and I'll go Fernando Torres in the 2008.
No, but Spain had a golden era.
Yes.
In the Euros as well.
No, they did. But that's what I was thinking of, the Andres Iniesta goal. But it was the final of the World Cup when he dedicated his, shirt underneath to Dani Jarque, who had passed away recently, and I thought that was beautiful. But that was the World Cup. Let's go to the 2008 Euros with Fernando Torres scoring in the final. I mean, El Niño was the epitome of Spanish football for me, and that was just magic. But yeah, Gary's right. There have been so many memories in the Euros, good, bad, and I can't wait for us to recreate.
No, somebody has even just mentioned about
Stop it.
one in 2016.
I read this one.
2016.
I read it already. I read it, okay. But someone commented and said Clinton Cambridge top striker 100.
I mean, no, you see what I mean? No,
I'm getting off the set. I gotta go.
No, but you see what I mean? I was even talking about Bedfordshire. Now they've now extended it to Cambridge. Now this is how it starts. Before you know.
Whoever sent that comment in, can you maybe send some stats if you had them?
Entertainment.
I just want to see games, appearances, assists, goals. I want to see something written down.
No. You see, like I said, my stats are not written. That's how crazy. This is some god level.
They ran out of paper, didn't they?
You see, no.
Too many goals to write down.
No, there's way too many. Like you see, we must have.
Guys, I've been taking stock. I'm calling them the Klinton claims, and the claims is with a K. The Klinton claim. So I have 17 claims that we need to verify from Clinton. 17, right? From being the top scorer in Bedfordshire, 17 claims that we need to verify with stats and data.
Okay.
We'll send them to Up verification. Okay. We'll send an Opta team to Bedfordshire for verification.
Oh my God, Gary.
No. You see, sometimes I think it shouldn't be by. Maybe we should get these people to come and confirm, right? Whilst we're on
we're waiting.
SportyShow live. I mean, I've just seen somebody even speak about
best striker.
I mean, it's coming.
Dallo Parkton.
It's coming. I mean, fam. You need to go. Oh, right.
No, this is too much.
No, they know. They recognize real. They know my capability. They know what I do. That's the reason why I see Lionel Messi, and I can tell you for fact that Lionel Messi is a God recognizes God. You have to be a God to no, but it's fact. It's because I know what our level of Godship.
God recognize God. No, don't do. You're not comparing
you brought
yourself
me
to
up
Messi.
comparing Vinny to Messi.
Yeah.
Now you're comparing yourself to Messi.
You've lost the plot. You're not doing yourself.
No,
to
but
Messi.
listen. Messi is way more than me, but it is not. I play as good as Messi, right?
Absolutely, stop. No.
Okay, maybe not Messi, but I'm definitely better than Cristiano Ronaldo currently. I mean, currently, like if we go head to head right now, right, they would take me over Cristiano Ronaldo. Fact. Like this is not even. I'm not playing.
Where are the Ronaldo stands? Come for Klinton Cod.
This is fact. Ronaldo he's gone to what's it called? He's gone to Al what? Is it Al Nassr?
Al Nassr.
Right. He's gone there and he's scoring all these chip goals against people that can't play football. And then you.
Look at this. He gave you.
Well said, Gary.
You're giving me. Gary, I'm meant to be the referee.
A red card on the first show. A red card on the first show.
Imagine the player giving the referee red card. Oh my God.
Debut.
I love this, Gary. You're right. You're right, Gary.
Gary, don't do that. No, don't try that at home, man.
All right, guys. Well, we've talked a bunch about it at the Euros, but there's also a lot going on here in football and the transfer window because it's opened and it's going crazy, as it always does. Thomas Tuchel this morning said he doesn't want to be the coach of Manchester United. I don't blame him. Another one is Dominic Solanke being heavily linked to Arsenal, Alex, from Bournemouth. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think obviously, when you think about snubbed picks for this Euros, you could argue that Dominic Solanke deserves to be in there, potentially over someone like Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
I think,
Ivan Toney.
The form that he's had with Bournemouth, and I know Ivan Toney is a good player, but I don't think he's, brought up a good level of a number of games for Brentford this season. He's obviously, I think, needs to have a bit more time under his belt playing football, and then he can get back into that England setup. I do think Dominic Solanke deserves a pick because, he's been their star player this season. He's the reason why Iraola's done so well. Obviously, Iraola's a brilliant manager and has done some wonderful stuff with Bournemouth, but he's been their focal point. And I think a move to Arsenal obviously looking for that number 9. They've got Gabriel Jesus, who's not maybe quite performed to the level that they wanted. They're looking at certain other players. They've always been linked with Victor Gyökeres of Sporting Club de Portugal. And, there are other names around there that Arsenal are looking at. So I think Dominic Solanke's got the Premier League experience. He could be a good move for Arsenal.
Gary, is there anyone that you're looking at right now in the summer transfer window to make a move?
Solanke will be I'm an Arsenal fan. He'll be a very left field play because he's not a name that would jump at you as the most obvious number 9. That Arsenal need a number 9, yes, but he's not the most obvious. Should he make that move and do well, it would be such an inspired, pick as well. And the more I think about it, Alex, God, the more I think Arsenal are the team. Behind him, he might have Martinelli, Odegaard to give him tons. He has the height to nod the ball home. 1, that's a couple goals. Does he have the physique to hold the ball and bring people in? He does. Does he have the guile to beat defenders one-on-one? I'd say he does. And if you put him through, has he shown enough with Bournemouth, who do not have as many options as Arsenal do to do so? Yes, which leaves the Premier League experience and being clinical. I think that if you look at the fact that his origins from Liverpool, yes, is it Liverpool?
Probably.
He played at Liverpool. Yes, remind me.
I will double check that for you. Go on.
Yeah, he's had time at Liverpool, and I think the time he had at Liverpool, he didn't quite kick off. He's obviously struggled to find his way, and Bournemouth has been the first one where he's properly kicked off.
For why he didn't kick off, and I think that Arsenal could be the right place for him as well. So yeah, that'll be fine. In terms of players who I think should move, I think it's time for Victor Osimhen to leave Napoli. There's nothing else to prove.
Yeah, that's the one that gets me emotional.
I think that's the big
Clinton's
one.
already going on.
When I get into the Nigerian talk, yes. Yes!
All right, let's talk.
I think there's nothing else to prove. Nothing else to prove. 1, I think that I don't want to say he's outgrown the team. I mean, they have a new manager now, so things could be different. But surely, in terms of what he can do and the profile he needs to show the world, I think it's a ripe time for him to go to a sort of like a Sevilla, if you like, to go to
Osimhen to Sevilla?
a top 4, top 6. Well, pardon?
You want Osimhen to go to Sevilla?
Well, he definitely can't make it at Barcelona. He definitely won't go to Real.
I'd take him in a heartbeat at Barcelona.
No.
I'd love him there.
No, they can't pay
Sevilla's
him.
not
They
been
can't
good
pay
lately.
him.
I think he's much better than Sevilla. Sevilla have been struggling the last 2 seasons.
I think he should be looking at coming to England. Mentioning Arsenal, clubs like Chelsea. In fact, as a matter of fact, I feel Chelsea is probably the best place I would expect Victor Osimhen level of play to be in, not Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson, I feel he needs you see, I always come up with Nicholas. For some reason, I feel like I need to bring Nicholas Jackson and coach him myself to get him to the level to be able to play for Chelsea. But Victor Osimhen, he's proven that he's a natural. I mean, he's obviously Nigerian, so Africa's best player currently. And knowing what Chelsea currently lacks, They lack somebody like him.
You talk about that move. Obviously, you know, he's previously played in France. I don't think he wants to go back to France. There is that move to PSG he's been touted with a move back to France. But I think, you know, as a replacement for Mbappe, when you look at that Chelsea move, and I think this is something that they've found difficult and they will have to, you know, test, because the financial fair play regulations are something that the Premier League takes very seriously. And I'm not sure, with the amount that Chelsea have spent, they can afford to go for someone like Osimhen, which means I think it lands in the hands of Arsenal, really. I think they should be the ones looking to compete. You think Arteta, when Mbappe was, I say that his future was less certain, and, you know, maybe Real Madrid wasn't 100%. Arsenal were obviously, Arteta said, we should be in the conversation for those big players to compete with the giants of Europe. So I think if Arsenal do want to make that next step and compete with Manchester City and then Bayern Munich, the Real Madrids in the Champions League, they have to be looking to sign players like Victor Osimhen.
But Alex, sorry, when you look at a team like Arsenal, do you think that they need a Victor Osimhen to be able to play on that level?
I think he slots right in there because he's a good striker.
Absolutely.
Arsenal are looking for a striker, and I think he could bring them goals. He's obviously brilliant in the air. He's got that header, that really powerful header. And not only that, his ball control, his pace. I think
the link up between him and Saka could be brilliant.
I think he could be. I think he could be the complete package. And if Arsenal sign him, I think they could win the Premier League.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's a great shout.
You know what the crazy. Sorry.
So, yes, my take. Sorry for butting in. I think he could have the effect in just 10 seconds that Haaland had for Man City.
I was literally just going to say that before you jumped in. I was going to say I would have loved to see the whole Haaland versus Osimhen. It would be amazing, man.
He will have the effect that Haaland had on Manchester City. I mean, we know why City went into it. They were and they didn't have anybody to be consistently banging in the goals, you know, and giving them that extra option as a number 9, tucking it in. I think Osimhen fits the bill perfectly, too perfectly, even more than Dominic Solanke, I think, because Osimhen has proven it at many other places at a level higher than Dominic Solanke, and so you are surer of output from Osimhen as a club like Arsenal than with Dominic Solanke. So yeah, it's a good shout for that as well.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Gary. Another player, Michael Olise, we've been talking about him a lot in this show today. He's linked with Chelsea, but Manchester United are apparently not going to go down without a fight. How are we feeling about, you know... okay, here's my thing with Chelsea, is that they have to, like Alex mentioned, with all the players and the financial fair play, they have to loan several of their players out if they want to bring anyone in.
Not just loan, sell as well.
They have to sell, but some of them have these, you know, extremely long contract deals. That's how they signed all these players in the first place. I don't want them to see anyone go to Chelsea anymore. Last season alone was enough for nearly 5 seasons of signings with Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't know. How are we feeling, Klinton? Michael Olise, right now, Chelsea, Manchester United, if you're him.
I mean, any team would love to see Michael Olise play for them.
Sure.
I believe he's that kind of a player where no matter you would, if I was the scouting director or I'm the one who's in charge of getting players to come to a team, I would pay blood to get Michael Olise to come in. Like I would do ritual, straight up, like black African voodoo, to get him to come to my team. Fact. Like, I mean, you don't understand the level of class Michael Olise has. If he comes to Manchester United, 100%, I think a lot of things are... Like, I mean, I'm a Manchester United fan for England, and obviously right now a Real Madrid fan in Madrid. Yeah, they say when you have two teams, you know, they say we have mental health issues, which I'm happy to agree with. Yes, I have mental health issues. I love Manchester United. I'm not very happy with where we are as a team currently. But I feel like if the player of the like of Michael Olise comes into the team, Jesus Christ. Michael Olise, Biko, I know you understand Igbo. I know you were born in England or whatever, in France. I don't want to care about all of that. But Biko, Fenyagi contract, Bia Manchester, Biko, Naroha contract, Bia Biko, no Chuku Kanjanyogi. Biko, if I put on Corona, you get your Macassi, amen. Michael Olise, you got Manchester.
I mean, I think Manchester United... I
said say amen, say amen.
Amen.
Come on, man.
I think maybe with Olise, what he has over
I just recorded that. I'm sending it to Olise's agent. I just recorded that.
Perfect. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary.
I think maybe what Olise, you look at the Chelsea signings over the last few years, they've spent over £1 billion with Todd Bowley and Clearlake. I think when you look at the players they've signed, Mudryk, Enzo Fernandes, obviously quality players, but I think when you look at someone like Michael Olise, he's got that Premier League experience. He's done it with Palace. You know, I look at some of the goals he's scored this season. The one against Luton springs to mind. I think when you look at players that have that Premier League experience, it's a lot easier for them to slide into a starting 11. So, you know, Manchester United are looking to rebuild. So Jim Ratcliffe said he wants to sign players that fits that club ethos. I think Michael Olise could be the perfect fit for United.
And what about teammate Eberechi Eze?
I think also potentially on his way. Spurs are one of the teams linked with him. I believe, you know, in the region of £60 million, which, you know, for a player of his quality is, in these days, in this money, it's a bargain almost. Spurs obviously not known for being big spenders, but if they were to, you know, break the bank for someone like Eze, I think that could be a good signing for them. They've obviously had a year under Ange Postecoglou, who's been able to build a squad. They didn't quite reach the Champions League, but I think they're definitely heading in the right direction, Spurs. And I think once they, you know, build the squad that they want and get rid of the players that they deem surplus to requirement, I think Eze could be a good fit for Ange Postecoglou.
So Alex, if say Michael Olise and Eberechi decides to leave, let's say, I mean, they would eventually have to go, right? What do you think happens to Crystal Palace? Do you not think they are pretty much engine room for the club? And because it's happened to a few teams in the Premier League. Brighton was a very top. Yeah, they were high on the ladder. They were doing so well, and boom, they started letting some players go, and you know, it's almost like, you know, Brighton, they are not the team that we thought they were eventually going to become. They went to the Europa League, right? You know, when I saw the way they displayed on those group of matches they played, I felt like, yeah, it was the wrong idea to let a lot of your players go. So do you think that would be, or that might be what would eventually become the story for Crystal Palace, assuming Eberechi and Michael Olise decide?
I think those clubs, you talk about Brighton and Palace, they'll always be selling clubs. They're never going to have that buying power to say, you know, we're going to pay you more than a Manchester United or a Chelsea. But you look at Brighton, they have sold those players, but they have bought in other players. Valentin Barco is a key example. You know, they look for these youngsters, they find them. Moises Caicedo, who's gone to Chelsea, Pascal Gross, Trossard, the list is endless. They find the talent, and obviously Oliver Glasner's building something at Palace. Mateta's, as you mentioned before, doing really well. So I think obviously there will come a time where those players move on to pastures new, bigger clubs potentially. But I do think Palace and Brighton, they're two clubs that are built well, that will be able to find that talent and rebuild. And you know, they're big clubs for the Premier League, and I think they'll do fine.
Can we throw down some questions to Gary at all?
No, Gary, I think wanted to chime in here.
Okay.
Actually, I think Klinton and I have been on the same wavelength a lot today.
Oh, man, so no, we're in spirits now.
The question I wanted to ask is, it looked like Crystal Palace is going to be raided, you know, quite a bit by the end of the Euros. And what we thought as well. But knowing clubs like Crystal Palace, they know their position. That's what Alex said. They are always scouting. They are always looking for the next thing as well. And there are a few names that have come on. There was a guy who Oliver Glasner actually mentioned at the end of the season when the rumors started swelling about Michael Olise and Eberechi Eze attracting interest from somewhere. There's a guy called Daichi Kamada. I don't know if you know him as well.
Damn, man, that name sounds like that name sounds like they will shoot a shot from midfield and is going in straight. Like keeper will not say. In fact, keeper will watch it go. Yeah. I don't know why it even sounds some kind of Chinese. You know those type of guys.
He's Japanese. Daichi Kamada, Frankfurt legend.
Daichi Kamada. So Filip Kostic as well from Juventus. As well, attracting interest from Crystal Palace. And you know, the sort of, I mean, obviously, like Alex said, they don't have a lot of money. So they are going to always do shrewd buys. And these are some of the players that they are looking at. He's like £6.5 million. That's what the region of evaluation is. And Kamada is about in the region of £9 million as well. So these are some of the guys Crystal Palace are looking at to replace the guys who are leaving.
Yeah, fair shout. Alex, I spoke about Thomas Tuchel not wanting to go to Manchester United. Is Gareth Southgate going to stay? Or what do you think? What do you see for the future of the United coaching situation?
It's been interesting, and I think, you talk about, I mentioned Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he's in his early stages of his tenureship as the new owner and director of football operations at Manchester United, and I think he's obviously seen the past and how buying players doesn't always go right. Chelsea, it hasn't worked for them. For United as well, they've bought countless players. They've spent loads of money over the last, since Sir Alex Ferguson left, they've tried to build squad after squad with under David Moyes, Mourinho, Van Gaal. They've had numerous attempts at it. So I think Sir Jim Ratcliffe really wants to do this right, and to have that, you need someone at the helm. And whether that is Thomas Tuchel, obviously he's announced that he wants to take a break. Could he then still be an option next summer? Gareth Southgate, if he doesn't win this season's or this summer's Euros with England, he could be an option. Another one that has been linked is recently sacked Mauricio Pochettino. Obviously a good finish to the season with Chelsea, but wants to carry on with the management, and obviously has experience with Spurs and Chelsea in the Premier League. So a few options for Sir Jim Ratcliffe there. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes down one of those routes or keeps Ten Hag, which we would have thought he'd have been sacked by now, but he's still in a job.
But then, Alex, do you think Ten Hag as a person, do you think he's doing a good job?
I don't. I think if you look at the players that he's had to his availability, he's managed 114 games as Manchester United at Manchester United. He's got a win percentage of just under 60%, 59%, which is decent. But when you look at the trophies he's won the FA Cup and the League Cup. He should be doing much better than that. With the money that United have, the infrastructure they have, the youth talent that they have, United should be competing with the top four every year, and it hasn't been the case. So, I think you maybe look at Ten Hag and see he might be slightly out of his depth. Obviously, the pressure of a job like Manchester United is big. I don't think he's done enough to warrant another year in the job.
I feel, I watched the FA Cup semi-finals where Manchester United played against Coventry. Coventry, who's this is a championship team, and that was when I think I felt, for me, if I was the owner of Manchester United or whoever is in charge of sacking or getting in, that after that game, right, I would have. I mean, Ten Hag wouldn't have gone back to his country in a plane. He would have gone with.
Oh no.
I would have given him a bicycle. That would be his punishment, like literally right back home, right? Because you don't expect a championship team, right, to come back from a 3-0, they were leading 3.
That is the magic of the FA Cup, though.
But you don't. Each time I think about that, what had happened that day, and mind you, Coventry, they scored the 4th goal.
Yeah. Oh no, they did. This was shocking.
They scored the 4th goal, but then again, you didn't see Ten Hag now facing Manchester City with the same sort of team, and then they win Manchester City, and then you were like, okay, wait, I want to sack this guy, but then he takes his players, and then he goes to beat the best team in the Premier League, right? Where does that put you? Does that not put you at a position of, okay, we might not just want to take decisions based on our feelings, and we might want to give him, the chance. Does that make sense? So for me, I don't think, like you said, Ten Hag, with the kind of players at his disposal, he should be competing with the top 4 in the different leagues in the world. But then again, where do we have him? We have Manchester United, facing teams that are like below the first 10, and they are struggling to win them. So you would see Manchester United maybe facing a team like Luton, who's going back to where they came from. By the way, I thank God that Luton are going back, though. I know, people that live in Luton, I'm sorry to say. But yeah, anytime they had a home game, there was too much traffic. Just next to where I lived, and that was so annoying as hell. So I was like, you guys
sending Rob Edwards messages saying, sign me?
No, I wouldn't even play for Luton. I feel like Luton is not the level of play that I'm way bigger than Luton, man. Like,
all right. Don't hate. I love watching the Hatters this season. Guys, I do have an update, though. There was a Twitter poll put out asking if Klinton Cod was a better footballer than Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, and I've heard that as of right now, he is in the lead.
I'm going
the people have spoken.
Yes,
Gary, I don't know what to tell you, but this is what's happening right now.
I'm going higher I'm going
The dance, it's the dance! I love it.
I told you. jumping on this.
Oh, Gary, that was too.
I told you. I told you, man.
You know what we do here? You know what, Clinton, give me the dance. Last one. Give me 10 seconds.
Okay, hold on, wait.
West African.
Wait, hold on.
No!
I what?
This is what we do.
Is the money?
This is what we do. This is what we do. Come on.
Just bring me money. Just bring me money. Wait.
Give it to me.
Just pay. Do you want me to twerk?
Yeah. No. Give me too much money.
Oga, see all those money you've sprayed. I don't want to hear story. If you see, count my money. Let me even go and send my online bank account because I don't want to. I know all these Ghanaian men. You cannot trust all these Ghanaian guys.
Money is not for you. It's meant for charity. Please, it's not for you. It's meant for charity.
Wait, did I not hear charity? See,
yes.
No, see.
You are doing
small thing. Let me speak pidgin English. Now small thing they make me vex. So no, don't. See.
No vex. Oga, no vex.
Oh, not the charity money from the dance. My goodness,
so yeah, you were talking about Man United, right? Look, I think it's Man United are an enigma because, in as much as everything Alex said is true, the kind of resources they put at the disposal of Ten Hag, the fact that they gave him the opportunity to choose the players, and this was really key. Nobody forced Anthony on him and some of those other players. He chose them because why? He felt he was comfortable with them and he had worked with them. And at this level, if you choose players, they are not forced on you a la Real Madrid, and you can't deliver with them, it's on your head. It's nobody's fault, it's on your head. I thought, before you landed, Alex, I thought you were going to say that the kind of money and resources that Man United have given him means or meant that Ten Hag should be winning more trophies than he has. Until you clarified and said top 4. To that, I agree. They cannot compete and win more trophies than Manchester City, obviously. But I do believe that the financial outlay that has been expended on Man United warrants a top 3, or at least a strong top 3 challenge every season since he came, and we have not seen that. Now, despite this, my departure will be whether he should be sacked. As of this moment, I have to be honest with all you guys and say I am still not decided. There's a part of me that feels that Manchester United have such a deep systemic issue that you could bring in Carlo Ancelotti or Pep Guardiola or any of the anybody you consider top 5 managers in Europe. Systemically, they have such a dysfunctional system that anybody would fail. That's what part of me thinks. Now, the other part of me also thinks that, you know what? If you are big enough to coach Manchester United, then you should have a personality big enough to be able to deal with these systemic issues. And that's where I would say that Ten Hag is not the man for the job. I could bring a couple of instances where I think that his utterances have not been befitting of in charge of United. Sometimes he talks like a Bournemouth manager, with the greatest of respect, a Malaga manager, like a team that what's his name, a manager of Como in Italy, or in Germany, not a manager of Manchester United. And I think we could pull out a couple of instances also where his man management skills. Now, I mean, the famous one is Jadon Sancho, of course. But I think there have been a couple of cases where you do question his meant to manage egos at that high level. So that you ask yourself, if he's been able to bungle man management of these players like he has, what else is he not doing correctly to bring the best out of players like Marcus Rashford? And I know Clinton has spoken passionately about Marcus Rashford. But you know what? I think that if even you took Marcus Rashford out of United this season and that long-awaited move to PSG say happen, Luis Enrique is going to bring 20 goals a season out of Marcus Rashford,
Yeah.
and he's going to be top 5, top 10 player
Facts.
in Europe by the end of next season.
Yeah, I
So,
agree with you.
Ten Hag baffles me, that I think that the system at Manchester United obviously is so dysfunctional that maybe give him one more season. And I think, does Man United have one more season to spare in them?
Yeah.
Or they need a manager who could give them a quick turnaround? And so I'm not quite decided. Maybe you guys can take it from here.
No, I agree, but we actually have to jump really quickly because we are coming to the end of our show. Klinton, I want you in 1 minute to sum up, please, the state of Nigeria. They play Benin tonight, obviously, coming off of that South Africa loss in penalties.
Telling me in 1 minute.
This is what you have to do. Go.
Well,
Can we get Finidi George on the phone?
No, Finidi, if you're watching this, please, I want to tell you that was your... Finidi, you are going to piss me off. And me, when I want to get angry, nobody stops me. Like Finidi, you have the best African team to your disposal. I feel like Nigeria is basically the England of Europe. You have so much around you. That, fam, the last game we lost, they were asking him a simple question, right? Why do you not have one of your best strikers playing? Victor Boniface, why do you not have him? And you say it's a tactical decision. Fam, this is a World Cup qualifier. This is a World Cup qualifier. What tactical decision means you don't play one of your best strikers? Victor Osimhen was not at the game. And Nigeria, we have the kind of players that should be giving us the ability to win a country like South Africa comfortably with a 3-0 win, 4-0 win, 5-0 win. Like this, I don't understand. We have it. We have Victor Osimhen. We have Victor. All our players are doing so good globally. Why is it that when you bring them together, we don't get the results? Why? I do not understand. We are going to be playing Benin tonight.
Best of luck.
I'm saying it one more time.
Yeah, and
I'm saying it one more time.
It's not easy for Nigeria. It's not easy for Nigeria because
something has to be done.
Yeah, they're in a group of 6 where every team there has a chance of qualifying. So,
every team. Listen, every team has a chance. But, Gary, what I'm trying to bring here is the caliber of... Mention one African country, just one African country that has as much as Nigeria.
There aren't many, to be fair.
Well, exactly. So this is the reason why I expect... Listen... Nigeria has what it takes to win any team in Africa. And then I was listening to the Super Eagles captain currently, Ndidi. I love Ndidi so much. Ndidi is actually a very classic midfielder for Leicester. I see him play and I feel like maybe he even deserves a better club. But then he was being interviewed on one of the press conferences after the game, and he was saying Nigerians should not expect them to win every single... Now, that's the mentality I do not want.
That was very odd. That was very odd.
That did not make sense to me.
That was very odd.
Ndidi, if you guys are going to go as a team with the kind of squad you have to win a game, now that statement should not come out from your mouth again. I don't know if this is coming out very rude, I'm sorry, but listen, as a captain, you should be going into every single game with the mindset of, I am going to win the game. We have all it takes to win the game. We have the class of players. You don't have Kelechi Iheanacho, who is, at some point, he was the main guy in England. Like I met Kelechi at some point, I said to him, though, you are going to outscore Cristiano Ronaldo. He would confirm we met somewhere in Manchester, right? We have so many of them in the Nigerian squad that I feel like these people are world-class players, and we don't go in to play other African nations and then we are playing like we are Watford. No, you can't do that, right? Today, I'm talking to the Nigerian coach. Finidi George, she was an amazing player during this time. I don't understand why you see the people you are coaching playing the way you were not playing and then you feel comfortable with it. No, you need to take them up to that standard that you and your cohorts during your own time played up to. Don't piss me off.
Oof. Fighting words.
Anyway, guys, just to wrap it up from Nigeria Benin is one of the games that we should look forward to today in the African qualifiers. It's getting really, really interesting all across the continent as well. For example, Senegal Senegal, who, I mean, are one of the best teams right now. You will not believe who is pushing them down the wire in their group. Sudan. And I mean Sudan. Sudan. I mean, typically you are not going to give them any stress. You will not believe who is in Ghana and is vying against Ghana for the World Cup slots in Ghana's group. Comoros.
I mean, you see, these are the names you hear, and you're like, wait,
Where is that?
Which part of the world is this? Like, which planet? Like, which
planet?
Where do you just come out from? And
now,
you're
even worse. In Nigeria's group, you know which team is leading the table? Lesotho.
Sorry, wait, hold on. Sorry. Hold up. You know, there's this guy online that when he wants to get people to pause, he said, "Roll up the N-word. Roll up." Wait, what's the name of the country you just mentioned?
Lesotho.
Wait, hey, God. Wait,
the African qualifiers is where it's at right now. I'm sure we'll have time to talk about that later.
Oh my God.
It's
No,
absolutely
we
crazy.
will. We will definitely get into it more. We'll be back on Wednesday, guys, but I'll say goodbye to Gary for now. And thank you for making it rain, Gary.
You made it rain for real, you know.
No,
Gary, let me remind you. All that making it rain was not for camera. Gary, I need to pay rent. Madrid is very expensive. Right? Yeah.
No problem.
So, why?
No problem. Thank you, Gary. Thank you so much, Gary. We will talk to you soon. All right, guys. Well, I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure. This is our debut show. We've gone through, the list from A to Z here, but we will be back, guys, again on Wednesday. Make sure you subscribe and, like I said, follow us on all of our socials. Twitter, Insta, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Kick, all of it, because we are covering the Euros. Wednesday, we're back on YouTube, and Friday, we are going live at SportyTV because Germany and Scotland are playing, and that is the first game that SportyTV is covering.
Yep.
So make sure you come on the journey with us. Klinton, Alex, thank you both so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Let's get into the Euros.
Let's get into the Euros. Thank you, guys. We will be back Wednesday, same time, same place.